I find one of the most fascinating things about your journey is that you went to California kind of early in your career.
I did,
and I think some of your career kind of came out of that, and I was wondering if you could just tell us a bit about that. I guess you're from London originally.
From Cambridge actually, but my career definitely started in LA. So I was always going to be a child psychologist. My father was quite an eminent headmaster, and it was very important for him that I went into education too. And so I did all the training and then found myself working with children whose parents are almost always divorced, hated each other. And it was really interesting because I always had 3 clients, mum, dad, child. They were never on the same page. And I was just too young to deal with that level of tension and animosity. And I just found myself almost by a fluke leaving that and going to LA and working for Jane Fonda, teaching aerobics on Robertson Boulevard, which was so much more fun than being a child psychologist. It was amazing. In the 80s, I mean, everyone used to drive to work in their little leotards, and it was such fun. I mean, she was great. She was like right at the front of a movement, a bit like I'm Enough movement. She had the aerobic movement. I have to say it was amazing every day. But so many of the people that turned up to do my classes or hers were bulimic or anorexic or had body dysmorphia or exercise compulsion. I remember looking at this with my psychologist brain thinking, wow, all these people are working out to cure a mental illness, and you can't cure a mental illness with aerobics. And so that set me back onto thinking, well, I should use the psychology background I have and mix it into this huge epidemic of anorexia, bulimia. I mean, if you live in LA and throw a stick at a bunch of women, every 3rd one would have an eating disorder.
Today
at
as
least,
well?
Oh, probably more, probably every other woman.
Okay. And the same back then as well?
Then it was, I mean, I remember I lived in West Hollywood, and my first roommate was bulimic, the second was anorexic. One would eat frozen grapes, the other would defrost a cheesecake and eat the whole thing while crying hysterically. And it seemed kind of normal, because when you live in that stuff, it's normal. It's like living in chaos. You just don't see it. And all the girls at Jane's workout had the same diet. It was like Diet Coke, diet yogurt, diet hot chocolate, and oatmeal. And that just seemed normal. But I remember thinking, it's not really normal, is it, to live like this, to get weighed all the time, to take your scales on holiday, to come in and go, how many calories are in cough medicine? Because, you know, I've got a cough, and I've got to go on the Stairmaster and work it off. It didn't seem that normal. So it set me on a path to look for what runs eating disorders, which I realized quickly was not enoughness. And so it was the beginning of my 30 years of working out, okay, what is causing this, and how can I help people fix it forever?